Alright, welcome back to another video from InSecTech's Android Application Penetration Testing course. In this video, we're going to discuss insecure data storage, which is M2. So basically, Android provides various ways to save application-specific data. It is up to the developer what kind of data and how much of data that you want to save in your application. So depending upon that, you can go for shared preferences, SQLite databases, internal storage, external storage, or you can go ahead and save your data over the network on a remote server or the cloud or in the cloud. Right. So these are the various options a developer has when saving data of your application. Now when it comes to shared preferences, basically it's a simple XML file where we can store your data in terms of key value pairs. You will have a specific key and associated value. You can save and retrieve your data through from and to your shared preferences. It's nothing but a simple XML file. Right. And coming to SQLite databases, basically SQLite databases are lightweight databases which are very helpful if you want to store large amount of data and if you want to make it do some kind of faster processing in your application. So SQLite databases and shared preferences are the best options if you just want to save data of your application. We have options like internal storage and external storage as well. If you want to use your internal memory to store your data, we can go for internal storage. If you want to save your data on your SD card, probably you can go for external storage as well. Just in case if you want to store the data remotely, not on a local device, we can go for network connections where you can save the data on a remote server. Right. Now there are a couple of things that we need to discuss before going ahead and considering the demonstrations of shared preferences and SQLite databases. When using any of them, you can say shared preferences, internal storage, external storage, you can actually specify the mode which actually explains what kind of applications can access the data that is stored in this particular shared preferences or internal storage or external storage. Basically there used to be one mode called mode private. So if you are using mode private, your application's data cannot be accessible to other applications. So if you are using older SDKs, it is always suggested to go for mode private. Even there are other options like mode world readable, mode world writable, but in the latest versions of SDKs, Android has removed them, so they are now not working. So by default your data is secure, but just in case if you are using older SDKs, probably using mode underscore private for your data is suggested. That is basically for developers. Right. Now in this section where we are discussing insecure data storage, we'll have a quick demonstration of shared preference as well as SQLite databases. So let's first get started with shared preferences. To do that, we have to install vulnerable application, that is challenge application 3, and for SQLite databases you are supposed to install this challenge application 4. So make sure that your emulator is up and running. Open up your terminal and navigate to this path where your applications are stored, located, vulnerable apps, APK, and use the command adb space install challenge 3.apk. Similarly challenge 4.apk as well. Install both of them. Perfect. Both the applications have been installed. Now let's go ahead and have a look at challenge 3 application. Right, just open it up and see we have one username and password field, and we can actually save the data that is entered into these fields in shared preferences. So let's enter something. Probably, yeah, you can say IST, again IST. Let me click save. Perfect, it's saved. Now let's go ahead and see what is the application's name, challenge 3, right? So let's go ahead and see how it is stored on your device. I'm getting an ADB shell, and now if you remember, in one of our previous videos we have discussed a concept where every application stores its data inside data directory, right? So let's get into that, and let's see this challenge3.apk. basically the package name is com.ist.challenge3. as you can see, challenge 3. Just hit enter, and now give a quick ls, where you can see we have shared_preference folder. So let's navigate to that, give a quick ls inside this. As you can see, there is one interesting file named userdetails.xml. so let's have a look at the content of this file. I'm just giving cat space userdetails.xml. This is wonderful. Whatever the data that we have entered into this file is actually stored in this particular, whatever the data that we have entered into this challenge3.apk in this emulator is actually getting stored here in clear text format inside this shared preferences file, which is userdetails.xml. This is insecure, this is not at all suggested, so any attacker who is having physical access to this device can actually go ahead and steal this sensitive information. So it is always recommended not to store any sensitive information inside this shared preferences, and this is a classic example of how it can be exploited. Right, so that's all I have in mind for this video. In the next video we'll see how you can actually go ahead and see SQLite data if an application is storing it in the local device. Thanks for watching the video. Thanks a lot.